This show contains profanity, advice you should never follow, humor that you might not enjoy. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. Do not try this at home.
Okay. Greetings, yellow blazers, blue blazers, Bill Bryson lovers, Bill Bryson haters.
Electricians?
Yeah. Welcome to the Pox Puss Podcast, a proud member of the Appalachian Trail family. My name is Pox Holiday, sitting across from me.
Puss in Boots.
And when we come back, we're gonna talk about lightning. So when I was in college, one of the times I was in college, I had a professor who told us a story about one time when he was, let's call him Adam. And Adam was a instructor with North Carolina Outward Bound. And it's kind of a story that a lot of people probably know. I bet Puss knows it.
Oh, yeah.
And so basically what it is this guy, it was a male and female instructor with Outward Bound. And he was, you have a checklist of things when you take people in the backcountry. You have a checklist of things that you need to discuss with people. Everything from taking care of the campsite you're in and not, throwing food everywhere, all the different things.
This is how you poop in the woods.
This is how you poop in the woods and that kind of thing. And how to cook, blah, 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 blah. But there's also, you have to pretty much go over some, first aid stuff, emergency first aid things. And so they had basically just finished talking about first aid, talking about CPR with, teenage kids. And miles away through the valley, they can see clouds and a storm coming way, way, way far away. And sure enough, boom, lightning hits somewhere, off in the distance. And through ground current, both of the instructors are shot through the air. I think he said it was something like 30 feet. And so basically ground current just came up and just bounced just the two of them. The rest of the crew just fine. And so they just...
Meaning all of the kids.
All of the teenagers.
And the instructors are now singed.
Yeah. But they're like out. And so, I believe through CPR and just, just some general shock, like just going through shock. He still to this day showed us the scars on the back of his legs and everything like that. And he tells us that story pretty early on. And then, sure enough, in the class that I was in, we had to get up at some point in time and talk about different subjects. We had to present to the class, just different things about being in the outdoors. Like I said, like pooping in the woods, cooking in the outdoors, all these things. And he had a checklist on a clipboard that went around the class, and it was one of those where I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Can't remember what it was right now because it was 10, 15 years ago. But I was like, I know what I'm going to talk about. And he starts the clipboard on the other side of the class. And the way it's going, I am the last person who gets to choose from this checklist of things. So I'm watching this thing go up and down, and I'm realizing, oh shit, I'm going to get to choose last. So sure enough, the clipboard comes to me, and I have two choices. Lightning or backcountry footwear.
Whoop, whoop.
Like, sweet footwear.
Talk about your all-time win.
And this guy walks in late, and I'm like, hey man, I hand him the thing. That motherfucker had been struck twice by lightning. So it was perfect for him.
Serendipitous.
Right? So that summer, I'm doing my internship out in New Mexico, working out there. And we're in the backcountry talking about first aid and stuff like that. And my boss starts telling us the exact same story.
Every Knowles and Outward Bound class fucking loves to tell that story.
Yeah.
They always tell that story.
And that's what I
I've
found
heard
out.
it like 7 different times
Yeah.
from 7 different classes.
Yeah. And the funny thing is like, I knew the guy. He came to my wedding. And but he was an awesome dude, but it was just kind of cool. And then that's what I found out through the years, like, oh no, everybody knows that story. And it's almost like urban legend, well, not, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Outdoor legend, like, oh, that really didn't happen. It's like, no. Go look at Adam. Again, his name's not Adam, but go look at the back of Adam's calves.
Yeah.
That are scratched, that are just shocked straight up there, right at the back of his legs. But I'll be the first to say I've been in many lightning situations, and nowadays I don't really know. Like, through the years of working in the outdoors, it seemed like almost like CPR. Every fucking year, it changes what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll be real honest right now.
Currently,
Yeah, what do we do now?
it's 30 uppy downies, 2 innie outies.
What the fuck is that?
30 chest compressions,
Oh, yeah,
2
okay.
rescue breaths.
Okay, well, what do you do as far as lightning goes? Just stay away from high tree.
Are we talking in the backcountry?
Yeah.
You're supposed to space people out 30 to 50 feet.
Right.
Sit on your pack.
Sit on your pack, yeah. That's kind of what I thought.
Which, the scary thing about that is the spacing out of people. It really just means that, like, only 2 people are gonna die.
Exactly.
Not everybody. It's like, let's we're not minimizing risk at all. We're just minimizing casualties.
Exactly. It's
really,
like,
really terrible.
well, it's only going to strike one of us.
Yeah.
I tell you, I remember one time, like, it was one of those where I was like really high up, and like no matter where I went, I was still going to be pretty much above tree line. Mm-hmm. It was in New Mexico. And it was one of those where lightning was striking all around us. And it was like, well, do we stay here in the woods next to these trees? We shouldn't run out into the field. But lightning just struck that tree across the field from us. Like just running. I think that really is like, again, don't ever take any of our advice.
Yeah, please. By the time you listen to this, the 30 uppy downies, 2 innie outies is
Already
probably obsolete. But
Completely. But it's one of those where I'm like, lightning, fucking A.
yeah.
I'll never forget leaving Una Vista. One of the greatest names on the Appalachian Trail.
Una Vista.
Una Vista. We were just hiking up to Cow Camp Shelter. And lightning. Have you ever felt the tingle from lightning?
Oh yeah. Oh. I've been the one to like look around and be like, yo, everyone's hair is standing on end. We should probably post haste. Like,
Yes.
Let's jump in the car.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Stop standing on picnic tables with rods in your hands.
put down the metal.
Yeah. Get out of that puddle.
I remember just coming up Una Vista towards Cow Camp Shelter, half a fucking mile off the trail. I felt it. I felt the fucking just like everything just stuck up. And I don't know why, but I was hiking and I just did like a mid-air like 180 and like landed on my back on my pack, feet, hands in the air. Like
a turtle?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like you said, like, spread out, sit on your pack kind of thing. And I just like literally just like spun in the air, legs and feet up in the air, and like 50 feet away, like this lightning hit something, hit a tree or something like that. And I'm just still to this. I would just remember being like laying on my back because I was like, I knew it was coming. And like you said, like sitting on your pack and that kind of thing. I was like, holy fucking shit. And so I just kind of flipped over and turtled.
Have you ever been in a plane when it gets struck by lightning?
Yeah.
Apparently that happens a lot.
Yeah.
It'll scare the shit out of you, but like you look around at the flight crew and they're all just like la-di-da-di-da.
It's fine.
Yeah, no, planes get struck by lightning all the time.
So, one of the things I was trying to think of, and I've looked this up, trying to figure out like what the rule of thumb is. Mm-hmm. Okay, so between lightning and thunder, there's that time period that's supposed to describe how far away lightning is.
Yes.
I've heard 10 seconds is a mile. I've heard 5 seconds is a mile. Depends on which website you look at. What have you heard?
As a lifeguard, we were always told the number of seconds was the number of miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I always heard that it was like 10 seconds was 1 mile.
We were told that a second was a mile.
Okay.
And the whole time that I lived in Florida, because we had electrical storms all the time when I was in Florida. Now, granted, I was an elementary schooler, but that was what we were always told. And so it's like an unconscious habit that when you see, you immediately start counting.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi
Right.
kind of counting. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That each second's a mile.
Yeah.
I've never
Speed
heard
of
that.
sound.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
This is the first I've ever heard that.
That's
theory.
like the speed of light, speed of sound. Like you
Right.
see it.
Right.
Speed of light is faster than the speed of sound.
Right.
So you see it in the speed of light, you hear it in the speed of sound. They're both real fucking fast.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm just real fucking dumb.
Well, it's okay. And, you know, for all I know, I'm wrong.
Okay.
It's possible.
I'm not going to hold you to anything here.
Totally possible.
Holding your feet to the fire on this
That's
one.
just what I've always heard.
Boy, we're burning through these questions I have. This might not be a whole episode.
Well, okay, so we'll go back to the day that I knew, like the incident
Okay.
that made me go,
Fire bad.
I want to hike the whole Appalachian Trail.
Okay. Does that have to do with lightning?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
I trust
so when I was a kid, I think I was, it was the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, I think.
Okay.
I went on my first backpacking trip, 50-mile hike, from somewhere around, it was really close to Bob Peoples' place. It was just 50 miles around there. We went through the Roan Highlands,
Yeah.
which is why that place has a soft spot in my
That's
heart.
where you ran into like the people that were like rerouting you around an area because of
Yeah.
sketchy stuff. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So we were going through the Balds, which is like Big Hump, Little Hump, and whatever, I think it's Big Hump is the closest one to the barn. I can't remember what.
Over Mountain Shelter.
Yeah, thank you. Over Mountain Shelter. We were walking up that we had a lovely lunch on top of Little Hump Mountain. It
Nice.
was sunny, big white puffy clouds. All was right with the world. You know, we like hung out wet clothes to dry and ate cheese and sang songs. It was great. Packed everything back up.
Sang songs.
Hey, it was a church trip, so
Oh,
you know.
my bad. Yeah.
Hiked down Little Hump Mountain, hiked up Big Hump Mountain. And we literally crested the top and were met with like a black cloud that was just curling towards us. And it was like, there's nothing. There's fucking nothing. Everybody, you know, put your trash bags on and let's start running.
Hunker down.
Yeah. So we ran. We ran. And it was one of those, like, you get hit with, like, 3 light drops of rain, and then suddenly you're being pelted with rain.
Yeah.
And it's like that in the span of 5 seconds, you go from being relatively dry to soaked. Like, everything is soaked. There's lightning all around us, and it was really just like this free-for-all. And, you know, none of us had a good sense of, you know how after a certain amount of time on the trail, like, I have walked 3.7 miles. Like
Right.
how far you've gone since the last time you thought about how far you had gone.
Yeah.
We just didn't have any sense of that. Didn't know how far it was to any shelters, blah, blah, blah. And finally, and the guy that was, like, leading our group, who was a church leader, like, he wasn't super experienced, but he was like, we're close to the shelter. And I think we were like 1.3 miles or something like that. But when you're going 8 miles a day, like, that's a big chunk of your day. Luckily, it was all downhill. None of us had really taken that into consideration. We all assumed that it was going to take us like an hour to get there.
Yeah.
But we started running. We were running downhill, and we got to the shelter pretty quickly. But we get to the shelter, and it's just this, like, everybody is completely soaked. Luckily, Over Mountain Shelter is huge.
Yeah.
We all, like, hang out clotheslines and start drying all of our clothes and, like, trying to get all that stuff in check. Start making dinner, la-di-da-di-da. We had just started running into Thru-Hikers. Like, not a lot of them. I want to say that probably the Thru-Hikers that we were meeting was that group that they were like, I wanted to go to my college graduation, and then I got on the trail. So they were like the people that started, like, beginning of May kind of thing. Late for hiker season,
right?
But just by a little bit. And I remember, like, we had already, like, gotten changed into dry clothes. We're about to eat dinner. We're hanging out. And, like, one by one, maybe, like, 5 or 6 Thru-Hikers come in.
Right.
It's still pouring. I mean, it's just torrential pouring. And one guy comes in, and he's, like, the only word that I can think of to describe him is jangly. Like, he comes in, and he's just sort of, like, almost like Kramer from Seinfeld. Like, he's just sort of, like, not right. And he comes in, and he's just kind of, like, quietly saying, not, like, over and over and over, but, like, I was just struck by lightning. I was just struck by lightning. Like, oh, fuck. I was just struck by lightning. And we all were like,
Right.
yeah, okay. Like, he ran into the shelter. Like, you're not struck by lightning. He sits down. He puts his pack down. He sits down. He takes his shoes off. He takes his socks off, and the bottoms of his socks have burn marks on them. And the bottoms of his feet have, like, singes on them.
Eesh.
And he's like, oh my God, I was struck by lightning. Like, and we all were just like, oh my God.
You were struck by lightning.
You were really struck by lightning. And, it was obviously, like, he was just real fucking lucky that, like, it struck far enough away that it probably blew him off of his feet.
Yeah.
And stunned him, but it
Yeah.
wasn't enough to kill him. Like, what are the odds that that's going to be what happens?
Yeah.
So he came in, and, like his fingers and his feet were, like, burny and tingly.
Wow.
And I watched this whole thing with, like, a little cup of hot cocoa in my hand, like, oh my God, like, are you gonna die? And he was like, nope, I think I'm okay. He changed
How old are you at this point?
I was however old you are in freshman year.
Oh, okay,
high
that's
school.
right. Sorry. So for me, 17.
How old is that? Like 13?
I think I was like 14, maybe 15 at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he sits down, he changes his socks, he eats a Snickers bar,
Takes off.
and he's like, I think I'm going to try and put in a couple more miles. And my jaw dropped, and I was just like, I got to do that one day.
I want to go to there.
Yeah. It was like, you're fucking crazy. And you gotta think, like, okay, so if he's going the direction you're supposed to go, that means he had 2 bald mountains to go over.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you are fucking crazy, and I like it. Like, I just remember just being, like, in awe of this crazy motherfucker that just walked in with burned feet, changed his goddamn burned up socks, and was like, I'm gonna try and make a couple more miles before I stop for the night. I think I'm gonna try and stay at Apple Health Shelter tonight.
Wow.
And you know, he did. But I remember too, though, that like I did that stretch of trail, and we did like 8 miles a day, and it killed me every single day. I was like totally fucking beat.
Yeah.
I remember that like the biggest part of the day where there were like stretches of trail that were full of like stinging nettles. And so I would like tie 2 bandanas to my legs so that like the exposed part of my legs didn't touch stinging nettles.
Yeah.
And like it was a big, like the whole day was just an ordeal. I just wasn't used to it. And you know, this is me as like I probably weighed like 84 pounds at that point in my life. And it was just like me being a teeny tiny girl with like my brother's REI large Starlight pack.
Ooh.
And when I hiked in 2009, I remember I was so excited about going back to that area.
Yeah.
So excited about revisiting it. And you know, it was like 4 years. Like I was really, it was like, how long was that? That was, I probably did that in 1998-ish.
Oh.
So it was over 10
It was
years.
me.
It was over 10 years. And I was really excited about going back to that place because it just had it was a special place to me. And I remember doing the whole 50 miles in 2 days. Like I did 2 really big days, but I remember, and I like stopped for lunch. Like I walked into town and got like a hamburger one day and like was like, this will fuel me for another 19 miles. Like, and it was like right at the beginning of like superhero hiking where you just were like, I can do this. Like you're, you know, you found your pace and you were just rocking. And I remembered being blown away that like there were like, I remember in one day going through like waking up in a place that we had slept one night on that hike. And by 11's, like I was at the next place that we had stopped to sleep. And by lunchtime, I was at the next place that we had stopped to sleep. And like, I think I went through, it was nuts. Like, and it was not necessarily easy hiking either, but I just was like, bam, done. Like, did it. So that was crazy. But yeah, but that one crazy man, he was just the long, skinny hiker man type that had his finger and toe prints blown off and then was like, I'm going to make a couple more miles before I stop for the day. He was the reason. He was the impetus for me as a wet behind the ears backpacker to say, I'm going to do that one day.
Oh, I was trying to time the belch that I had with the end of your story, but it
didn't happen.
Let's see how this works. Maybe.
It won't. It never does.
It never does.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Pox. It's Gordon.
God damn it!
Every time.
I'm in Knoxville.
I win 1-0.
I knew, and I knew
this one won't either.
That's the problem. I just wasn't quite drunk enough for this podcast to work. Now I'm getting there.
Hi, Pox and Puss. This is Wild Child calling in with my stinky story. Real quick. So, we decided to go in, group I'm hiking with decided to go into New York, into the city. And on our way there, we got on the train, and it had a family of like a mom, kids, and I think a mom, or a mother, kids, and then maybe her mom or whatever, and another lady and another guy, whatever. We get on the train, we sit down, and all of a sudden the lady with her mom and kids get up and move, and then two other individuals move, and it ended up only being like one lady who decided to sit there. And I know it was all because we were not smelling the best. So that was like the first time. And then when we actually got into New York, on the train in New York City, on our way back, we have our stinky packs with us, and we get on the train, and my friend is sitting right across this lady, and you slowly see her start covering up her nose from the smell, and all we could do is kind of just chuckle. My friend did get a picture of her and my friend sitting across, and with his facial expression like, what can you do? Last quick story is just a couple days ago at the post office. I'm in the post office trying to send the package off, and a lady comes in the post office, and her first words are, "What is that god-awful smell?" And all I could do is look at her and say, "That would be me." And I think I caught her off guard that her response was, "Oh, no. You know, I told her I was hiking the trail, and she said, "Oh, no. I've had plenty of hikers in my car. It's not you. In fact, you know, the smell is stronger out here." I think she was trying to clear up, you know, what she said. I caught her off guard. But, yeah, so I know that was really fast, but I know there's a time limit.
Okay. I know there's a time limit, and it ends.
We got you, hiker. Child.
Yeah, well, that's you know, it reminded me. I think I tweeted about this about a week and a half ago. I recently rode on an elevator.
Yes.
With the girl who was stinky
you
before.
You talked about it.
Oh, did I talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she didn't smell. The other thing is, so.
Oh no, it was that we had a back and forth on Twitter.
Okay.
Where I said that she had obviously broken up with her hippie.
That's right.
Girlfriend and/or boyfriend, and now was dating a frat boy.
Frat boy, yes.
And so now she smelled good again.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, I got in the elevator, and you know what's funny is like she smiled at me like it was never said, and I'm like, okay, good, that's fine. The other thing is, in my area, what
if she had just had one of those days where she forgot deodorant and was like extra sensitive about it?
I think that's what it was. No? I just think she just had a bad day. And like I said,
I know. I fucking smell.
Like, God damn it! It was the end of her day.
You don't have to just point it out to me on the elevator.
I was probably the fifth person to be like, "What's that smell in here?"
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, it's that time in the show when we like to congratulate the Thru-Hikers who have recently finished. Okay, here's a group shot of Hoops, Uphills, Roots, and Stormcrow. They finished on September 8th. Trix and Aquaman. They finished September 14th. Moneymaker, September 17th. Infrared, September 13th. True Story, September 15th. Homestretch, September 17th. Oregon and Little Bit, September 21st. Frankenstein, September 25th. Redleg, September 18th. Affirm, September 23rd. Ooh, a little bit of frost up there. Stardust, October 21st. Wing It, September 23rd. Ungerwear, September 21st. Tree, August 10th. Knots and Top Natch, September 26th. Rico and Big Ups, September 5th. Pilgrim, September 30th. Hey, if you'd like to hear your name here, and if you'd also like to see it on the AppalachianTrials.com website, you can send an email to thegoodbadger@gmail.com. Send your photo, your trail name, the date you finished. Maybe if you have a website or something like that, send that all off to Zach. Again, thegoodbadger@gmail.com. The other thing you can do is head over to AppalachianTrials.com and just go to the Thru-Hiker registry. That's another way to let people you met on the trail stay in touch with you. And also just kind of a cool place to put up your pictures and stuff like that. All right, let's get back to the show. It's not worth it.
Did I talk about, I know I tweeted about it, but I just want to say, ladies, 1, world 0.
Oh, I know what you're about to talk about. TV?
I happened to be watching Teen Mom 2 the other day.
Oh, that's where it belongs.
And I was knocked off my goddamn feet when I saw a syndicated Diva Cup commercial on the television on MTV.
Was it a good commercial?
Not great. It wasn't a great commercial, but it was on.
Pop this in your cooch.
It was on MTV. It was sort of one of those. Wait, you're in the Stone Age and you're still using pads and tampons
during Teen Mom?
No, it was a commercial.
But was it during Teen Mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was either during Teen Mom.
You watch Teen Mom?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Because the Kesha show is off.
Yeah. Fucking, they got me hooked, and then she pulled the show. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I watched Teen Mom 2 and a new show called Virgin Territory.
Virgin Territory?
Yeah. It's about
virgins?
It's about virgins.
Okay.
And some will lose it and some won't.
Oh, they don't show it, do they?
Not usually, no. Sometimes there's audio if they don't turn off their mics. Some of them are really awkward, like, I've never kissed a girl, and then others are like, I'm a makeout whore, but I've never done it. And like, it's just really, it's weird anyway.
So, have you been keeping up with the Fappening?
A little bit, yeah. I had to look up the pictures.
I made this. I tweeted about this the other day, where I said that something is wrong in the world when I've seen Ray Rice hit his wife. Like, I've accidentally seen this guy hit his wife 4 times.
You can't avoid it.
But I have yet to see Jennifer Lawrence's boobs.
I did. They're good.
And so I was kind of like, you know what? It's I can't think of an analogy right now, but it's like, if it's gonna happen, it's like the old like. If you love something, let it go if it comes back to you. And so that's the way I felt about Jennifer Lawrence's tits.
Boobs.
Yeah. Was that like, hey, they're out there somewhere. If I'm meant to see them, it's going to happen. Well, I put that up on my personal Facebook page for like a day, and it got the most reaction I've gotten in a while from a Facebook post.
Were people pissed?
No, people loved it. People thought it was the greatest thing. They're like, exactly. Oh, yeah, this guy's beating his wife. We're seeing it now. And so then I was like, well, it's getting a lot of good reaction on my personal my personal Facebook page. I'm going to put it on Pox Holiday's Facebook page and Pox Holiday's Twitter. 2 hours later, I got a message and an email literally titled "Here." And I was like, "Oh." Open it up. Blow. There it was. Like, oh, like this wasn't how I thought it was going to happen. But I got him in a voicemail, in an email. So I've also alluded to on Twitter that last weekend I went to a wedding and I had a lot of fun. And I told you the story ahead of time. It involved me time traveling.
Yes.
And at one point in time, it involved me whipping out the old phone and just doing the old like holding it up so people could see, and people were like, what is this? And I'm like, it's Jennifer Lawrence naked, because there's a lot more than her boobs in that picture. Did you see the same picture I saw?
The potty gif?
Oh no, I saw her on a couch.
There was a gif where she was,
I didn't see that.
She was peeing.
I didn't see that.
And then she got up and she wasn't peeing anymore.
Do you want to see the picture?
I think I've seen them.
On the couch? Hold on.
This is going to be a live reaction, folks. Maybe I've already seen it. It's possible.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
Go to your secret stash.
Go to photos. My history. Yes.
Your Fap folder.
My Fap folder. You've got to be shitting me. I'm so angry at my fucking phone right now.
So I heard about the Fappening, and my first reaction was like, this is terrible. These people are being exploited. And then it was like, they took these photos and they were meant to be private. And then it was just this like I had this full feminist-y conflict within. Oh, I'm seeing the couch photo.
Amazing.
I mean, like, there's not really It's kind of fuzzy. That's what she said. I mean, like, the photo quality is kind of fuzzy. It's not like you see...
but the subject is fucking perfect.
The pink of vagina or anything.
Well, I didn't look at that. I didn't look that close.
What did
Just
you look at?
tap on it and it'll make the picture bigger, I guess.
Well, that's what she...
We'll be right back. And we've talked before about there being a pornography magazine involved in a hotel where we were chased out of town.
Don't get your sticky on it.
No, you know what I'm talking about with
Yeah.
In oh no, we didn't say that, did we?
I said it.
You said it.
Yeah.
Okay, but
My brother often, when we release a new episode, will send me one ridiculous sentence that I said during the cast.
and that was it.
Don't get your sticky on it was the one that I received from that episode.
Would have been
Usually I have to
some other good ones.
Yeah, usually I have to like explain that I was really drunk and like
What's another one? What's another
I
one?
can't even remember, but don't get your sticky on it was the last one. Usually it's like my most embarrassing one-liner. It was like the time on my 21st birthday that I happened to be like with all of like my Irish Catholic family. And so we went out for my 21st birthday, just me and my cousins, like just me and my of-age cousins. It was all supposed to be good fun. And all my older cousins kept buying me shots, and on the way home, I apparently went on a rant about stripper assholes. And
haven't heard of the end of it.
And but all of my cousins like shut up and just like got wide-eyed, like that. Like, how does she know about stripper assholes? Like, and it was just this like horribly. I mean, like I was too drunk to know. Anyway, that doesn't need to go on the show either.
So speaking of 21, that can't go on the show?
I think not. Maybe.
Okay.
Stripper assholes or not, like, I'm not ashamed of stripper assholes by any means. It's more the
family.
It's more the cousins part.
What if I edit it properly so the cousins are left out? Because I can do that.
Why don't you just leave it until I say stripper assholes are not a problem in general?
Okay. One time, I was in a class where we were paddling, and it was really close to it's the Little Tennessee River, which goes into Fontana, which is Fontana Dam, Fontana Lake, and one thing that's cool about Fontana Lake that most people don't see when they're hiking is that they start kind of like emptying it out. They let it go down, which generates power and all that stuff through the Fontana Dam. But every 5 years...
Which reminds me, I tweeted something that I thought was really funny the other day, and nobody did anything.
Oh, I just had a first sip of Lime-A-Rita by Bud Light. Oh. That is like an anti-fucking-septic. That's like drinking Bactine.
Breathe it out.
I'm going to have the rest of it, but god damn. Go ahead, yes. So you tweeted something that didn't work out?
The other day, I tweeted alternative energy. It has some big fans.
I didn't see that.
And nobody gave it a second thought. It's like, I made a t-shirt when I was in high school that said, corduroy pillows, they're making headlines. And like, like nobody got it. It was like, really, guys?
You're ahead of your time.
Just think about it. But alternative energy, it's got some big fans. Nothing. Crickets.
One of my problems is I live a different, my life starts later and ends later in the day than most people.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I tweet...
My first tweets of the day start at 4 a.m.
See, my good tweets start about 11:30.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm about 11:30 to 2 a.m. So I've got a pretty big West Coast audience.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
for the Appalachian Trail.
You're on California time.
I'm on California time. Which, that was one thing I was getting to a little while
I'm on
ago.
like Japan time or something. I don't even know.
I was retweeted by Maria Bamford, and that was one of the biggest things that's happened to me this last week.
Yeah, you were excited.
I was really excited, and it was all because I was trying. Well, long story short, they're in the works. In the works is the "Fuck You" T-shirt.
Fuck you.
T-shirt.
Fuck you.
From Frozen Mac and Cheese is working.
God, I
off.
wish.
I can't wait.
I wish we just had like a. We need to get like a yak back of fuck you.
What's a yak back?
It was like one of those old keychains that you could like say something into.
Oh, there's something wrong. Like it's like drinking.
It's like drinking lemonade and gasoline.
It's like drinking lemonade malt liquor.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're drinking.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's precisely what you're imbibing right now.
Okay.
As long as we've made that clear.
Jesus tits.
Yeah.
Oh God. Discovered. It's all in my mustache. It's all in my mustache. That's what it was. I swear, officer, it's in my mustache.
It's like notoriously in the morning, like Journey wants to say hi to me and my husband, and he'll like give me kisses and then sneeze right in my husband's face, like every morning. He's like, "I love you so much, mommy. Hey, daddy."
Well, see, Scraps, our big dumbass dog, he'll definitely put his face in my face occasionally in the mornings, but his favorite thing to do. I mean, he weighs between 96 and 100 pounds. His favorite thing to do is put his gigantic dick on my knee. It's like, oh Jesus, dude! Like he'll just like saddle up, like he'll be petting him, and all of a sudden he's like, Rink. It's like whenever I'm sitting on our couch is kind of low, and it's just like, oh God, dude, oh God, and he's just like, just lays it down. You're like, you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Is this a dominance thing?
Stop it.
God damn it.
Just stop it.
All right, so there's that. I don't know what that was. This was supposed to be about lightning. Okay.
I don't even know what that was. It was supposed to be about lightning.
Let's see. No, that's not good. Oh yeah, so the Little Tennessee River.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with
Nothing.
that. So we were out paddling, and we finished a trip where we were.
So there we were.
So there we were, and we pulled all of we one by one pulling our boats up. Like I said, like the Fontana Lake will get dropped pretty low, and every 5 years they drop it excessively low because they literally do an inventory of the like what's underwater, like because there's towns underwater at Fontana, like.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like they flooded towns.
I hiked with a guy that wore a hat that was like boycotting.
Build the road?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Build the Road one day.
Oh my God. He was passionate.
Yeah. So like there are literally towns at the bottom of Fontana. That's bad. And so this one year just happened to be the year where they dropped it excessively low. It was a late fall class. We had been canoeing down the Little Tennessee, and when it gets really low, it gets really exciting, shall we say, whenever the water's really low, because everything narrows down, the water's funneling through little areas. So we each one by one or two by two had to pull our canoes way the hell up the banks to get up. So we had parked a couple of cars at this one area for our class so we could drive back to the buses and bring the buses back up, or the vans. And so one of the guys that was in our group was like uber Christian. Okay? Nothing against. He was just a very Christian fellow. And so we're on the side of the highway, right there by Lake Fontana. We're about 6 miles away from NOC proper. And I look over, and there's an upside down Polaroid picture sitting on the side of the highway.
I don't like where this is going.
You will hate this.
Okay.
Especially if you're a very Christian young man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's no way that this, like, obviously run over several times Polaroid picture is going to be anything good.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are the
Polaroid.
What are the odds that it's going to...
What good happens on a Polaroid?
So I picked it up. There's about 6 of us standing there. And I was like, oh my God, it was like a 3/4 erect penis. Like,
not even
just
close.
some dude's, like, junk,
Yeah.
semi-erect. And I'm like, oh my, like, what are the fucking odds? Like, here we are, right here, there is a fucking dick pic before there were dick pics.
Oh, you say before.
Well, you know what I mean. Before the commonly known, before they were in the cloud. Are you all right with the headphones? Right, Red?
I got it.
So I was like, oh my God, I'm standing there and there's like, you know, and the really Christian kid had his car parked there because he was going to drive back to the van and bring back. So I was like, what do I do? What do I do? So I just opened his gas tank, like the little door to your gas tank.
Yeah.
And I just stuck the picture there, like right in front of where you would reach in to turn the thing.
Yeah.
And I just shut the door. And, like, didn't think about it really ever again. I just thought, like, that'll be funny. And I think his name was Chris. We'll call him Chris.
And then?
So, like, 2 weeks later, he tells this story to the whole class. He's like, guys, you're not going to believe what happened. I had a bunch of young men from my church with me. And they pulled over to get gas. So he opens up the gas tank and looks in and has to hide it from the kids. God damn it.
You're drunk, aren't you?
I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened.
Yep.
All right. So this is probably one of my favorite reviews ever.
Okay.
It's 5-star by Outlaw Blues from July 10th. 5 stars. I have listened to the Pox and Puss podcast almost since the beginning. I have found their podcast to be profane, crude, irreverent, vulgar, unprofessional, and unfocused. I do not know why any self-respecting person would listen to this podcast. The constant use of profanity and lewd comments certainly prevents me from offering an unconditional endorsement. But, in all capitals, I cannot stop listening. It is like slowing down to see a car wreck. I know I should drive on, eyes forward, but I cannot help myself from slowing down and looking. Pox and Puss are intelligent, super funny, articulate, and they even talk about the Appalachian Trail from time to time. They keep me laughing and continue to stir my interest in the AT. I love this podcast. Even though half the time I am disgusted. I would prefer less profanity, but with these two, I guess I shouldn't get my hopes up. So I'll brew myself a Diva Cup tea and wait for the next podcast. Like, honestly, that's my goal.
Thank you so much.
We quit.
Please don't edit out any of the laughter.
It can't happen.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet.
I'm not kidding. That's the best. That's all we could hope for. Like,
That's all we've ever wanted. With these two, I just shouldn't expect anything else.
I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you. That's I just want to cross stitch that.
Put that
With these two, I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Put that in a pillow on your couch.
Oh my god.
You can find us on Twitter at Pox Puss. Sorry. I didn't realize that the night was going to go like this.
Hey man,
It just happened.
it's all good. Sometimes these things just happen.
So you can find us on...
That's why there's morning after pills and hangover pills. It's okay.
Find us on Twitter at Pox and Puss. I'm at Pox Holiday. You're at AT Puss in Boots. You can find us at AppalachianTrials.com. Just go there. And while you're there, go ahead and...
For some reason, they have lovingly accepted us as part of their family.
We pulled the wool over their eyes.
We are honored and a little bit ashamed.
Oh, Limerita's horrible. Oh, scotchy scotch.
There it goes, down to my belly.
So go to Appalachian Trials, and at the very bottom of the page, you'll find us. We're kind of on the left.
It's where we deserve to be.
So
On the bottom.
We do not deserve on page 1. Let's see. Then you can also find us at Pox and Puss on Instagram.
Etsy.
Oh, yes, Etsy. Grab yourself a Dino Chase shirt. And, while you're at it, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Even if you talk shit about us, we'll read it.
Happily.
As long as it's 5 stars.
Yeah.
Don't blame us for what
your
other of our guests say.
and then talk whatever smack you want.
Yeah. If you think that, we're like a car wreck, yeah, that's fine.
It's cool.
We're cool with that. What else? Is there anything else?
Pinterest.
Yeah. Go to Pinterest and stick a thumb in your ass.
We're so excited you like us. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
No, we won't. This is the end of the episode.
Yeah. There we go. We're done. Night night. All right. Should we even try a second one?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think we should.
Okay.
Let me tell you what, motherfucker. You got the story wrong.